Hi, you guys. So up to this point, all of the equations that you have been solving have had a solution. They've had one solution. Today, you are going to be working on equations that may have a solution or they may not have a solution. The answer to the solution is, in fact, no solution, or you may have an equation where all numbers will give you a solution for that equation. So let's just review really quickly what it means to be the solution of an equation. If you have an equation that looks like this, x plus 5 equals 10, the solution of this equation would be x equals 5, because when I substitute 5 for the x in the original equation, it makes the equation true. That's what a solution is. Okay. Now, when you're solving variable on both sides equations, let me put an example up here. Okay, when you've got the variable on both sides, sometimes you may have a situation where there is no value that you can plug in for x that's going to make the equation true. So I want you to look at this equation that I just wrote down here. On the left side of the equation, the x is being multiplied by 2. On the right side of the equation, the x is being multiplied by 2. So that is the same on both sides of the equation. But then you can see on the left side that we're then adding 5 to that, and on the right side, we're adding 10 to it. So this is an example of an equation that does not have a solution. There are no possible numbers that you can plug in for x and then times them by 2 and then add 5 to it and add 10 to it and have that be equal. So when you're looking at an equation and the variable term on both sides is the same and the numbers are different, then that is an example of an equation that will have no solution. Now, if you don't recognize that in the beginning and you go to the next step for solving this, collecting the variable terms on the left, you can see that on the right, you're left with just a 10, and on the left, you're left with just a 5, and this is not a true statement. 5 does not equal 10. So that tells you that this equation has no solution. So when you're solving an equation, if your variable term drops out and you're left with a statement that is not true, then you know there is no solution. Now let me show you an example of an equation where all real numbers can give you a solution. Let's say we have the equation 3x plus 10 equals 3x plus 10. So when you look at this equation, you can see that on both the right side and the left side, the variable term is the same. On both sides, the x is getting multiplied by 3, but then on the left side, 10 is being added to it, and on the right side, 10 is being added to it, which is the same thing. So that means we could choose any number to plug in for the x that would make this equation true. So let me show you. Let's say I choose 1. Well, if I do 3 times 1 plus 10, that is 13. If I do 3 times 1 plus 10, that is 13. 13 does equal 13. Or if I do negative 2, 3 times negative 2 plus 10, that is going to give me a 4. 3 times negative 2 plus 10 also gives me a 4. 4 does equal 4. True statement, so we know that the solution would be that any number would be a solution. Now, if you don't recognize that in the beginning and you go to solve this equation by doing the next step, which is to collect the variable terms on the left, when you subtract 3x from the right side and subtract 3x from the left side, the variable term drops out, you're left with a true statement. That is another way you know the solution is all real numbers. So when you go to do your ALEKS assignment, you're going to be given an equation, and the first thing you have to do is choose if the equation is going to have one solution, no solution, or all real numbers. Okay, so if it is no solution, your variable term will be the same on both sides, but your number or the constant or what you're adding or subtracting will be different. So that's what it will look like for no solution. If it has one solution, your variable term on both sides is going to be different, okay? And then if it's all real numbers, your variable term and what's being added to that variable term will be exactly the same. That is a situation where it's all real numbers or solutions. So let's go ahead and try this one. First step for solving an equation is to simplify the left side. So 4w minus 4, negative 1 is 4w minus 5. On the right side, 2 times w is 4w. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Now right here you should recognize in your equation when you identify your variable terms that they are exactly the same. But on the left side you're subtracting 5, and on the right side you're subtracting 6. So you're taking the same thing and you're subtracting 5 on one side but subtracting 6 on the other. So this is an example of no solution. And if you continue to try to solve this equation by collecting the variable terms on the left side, you come down to a statement that's not true. Okay, so no solution. That's what that looks like. And then let's go ahead and look at another one. Negative 4 times by x plus 1 equals 2 times 1 minus 2x minus 6. So let's follow our steps for solving an equation. We're going to simplify the left side, and then we are going to simplify the right side. So now after both sides have been simplified, we can see that on the left side our variable term is negative 4x. On the right side our variable term is negative 4x. We're subtracting 4 from that on both sides. So this is an example of all real numbers are solutions. And if I go to solve that even further, I'm going to end up with negative 4 equals negative 4, which is a true statement, which means that we can plug anything in for the x in our original equation and it will make it true. Okay, let's do 2 more examples. 2 times x plus 1 plus 7 equals 3 times x minus 2 plus 2x. So simplify the left. 2 times x is 2x plus 2 plus 7, which becomes 2x plus 9. Simplify the right. 3x minus 6 plus 2x ends up being 5x minus 6. Now, at this step, because these variable terms are different, we know that this equation is going to have one solution. And now we need to figure out what that solution is. So we're going to collect our variable terms on the left. So negative 3x plus 9 equals negative 6. Then we're going to collect our number terms on the right. So negative 3x equals negative 15. Divide by negative 3, so x equals 5. That is our solution. Okay, one more example, and then I think you guys will be ready to do some practice problems on your own. So 4 times u plus 1 minus u is equal to 3 times u minus 1 plus 7. Okay, when we simplify the left side, we get 4u plus 4 minus u, which is 3u plus 4. When we simplify the right side, we get 3u minus 3 plus 7, which is 3u plus 4. Because our variable terms are the same, and so 3 is being multiplied by the variable on both sides, and then we're adding 4 to that on both sides, we would say the solution for this equation is that all real numbers are a solution. And if we continue to solve from there, we end up getting 4 equals 4, which is a true statement. Okay, so now you guys are ready to do the 8.ee.7a practice assignment in ALEKS, and then you'll be ready to do your retake.